Welcome to GCSE Business. I'm Miss Radford and I'm one of the business teachers here in the Social Sciences faculty at Cottam School. So the GCSE Business course consists of 6 big units of work across the 2-year course. The first 2 are learning about businesses and the things going on outside businesses that impact upon them. And then as we move along, we start to explore each of the 4 functional areas of business in more detail. We then leave ourselves plenty of time to do revision in the run-up to the exams, which all take place at the end of Year 11. So here's a little bit more information about what we're going to be learning. At the moment, Year 10 students are working on this first unit of work, business activity. So we've been learning about the skills of entrepreneurs, how a business is started, and the different ways that businesses can be owned. Soon we'll be moving on to learning about how businesses choose a location and how they then start to grow the business by, for example, bringing in extra finance. Our next unit of work will be looking outside the business at all the forces that can impact upon a firm. So, for example, this could be changes to the law, or it could be the state of the economic environment and how that is impacting upon firms. Later on in Year 10, we'll move on to exploring the operations function of a business. So we'll be learning about the different methods of production, learning about the difference between quality control and quality assurance, and learning about how the supply chain functions and how a sale is actually made. Then we'll move on to exploring the finance or the accounts department of a business, learning about where businesses get their money from, how they control costs and how they generate revenue. Learning to construct business accounts and learning about forecasting cash flow and how cash is really important in a business, and then actually learning how to analyse business accounts, for example, comparing them against targets, comparing them to last year's performance, or comparing them with similar businesses in a similar industry. And then also in Year 11, we'll examine the marketing function of a business. So, for example, learning how businesses understand their customers, what kinds of market research they conduct and how they do it, and then exploring the 4 Ps of the marketing mix: price, product, place and promotion. And then our last unit of work will be looking at the human resources function of a business. So how businesses recruit workers, how they train them, and then once they've employed them, how they make sure their workers are happy and motivated and being productive. And we'll also look about how workers are arranged within businesses. So, for example, learning about hierarchy and matrix structures and what a line manager and a subordinate is. So you can see the 6 units across the 2 years, and then, as I said, leaving ourselves plenty of time to revise before we get to those final exams at the end of Year 11. So just to give you a flavour for what the GCSE business course is aiming to do, obviously we want students to engage with the business world. We want them to be critical and reflective thinkers. We want them to distinguish fact from opinion, and then obviously learn to apply their knowledge of businesses to a range of different contexts. And obviously we would explore local, national and global businesses. But it's also having an appreciation for the impact that business has upon its environment in which it operates, and also why it's important for businesses to be ethical and why corporate social responsibility is such a big issue in our society. So some of the things we might, some of the questions we might explore in GCSE business. So for example, how does a call centre measure quality? It's very easy to measure the quality of a physical, tangible product, but how would you do that when it's a service that's being provided instead of a product or a good? How can we shortlist job applicants to make sure we filter out the least suitable applicants, and then how we go through the recruitment process to make sure we've chosen the right person for a job. And for example, learning, does being ethical lead to higher profits in business? Do businesses do it for the right reasons, or simply because it's a marketing opportunity for them to generate higher profits? So how is the course assessed? As I said already, it will be assessed right at the end of Year 11, 2 different exam papers. The first component is a 2-hour paper and makes up 62.5% of the qualification. This is a mix of short answer and structured questions based upon short case studies. And then the second paper is 90 minutes, and that makes up the remaining 37.5% of the qualification. And these are slightly longer case studies, and the students are required to write a bit more at length, responding to the data that they have been given. Both of these exam papers will assess all the content of the syllabus. And then you can see on the right here the different assessment objectives. So these are the things that the students are being assessed on and the skills that they have to demonstrate in order to earn marks. So the first one, AO1, is fairly straightforward, having that knowledge and understanding of business. But then slightly trickier is being able to apply that to a range of different case studies and contexts. And then slightly trickier again is being able to analyse and evaluate different information and make judgments, draw conclusions, and potentially even make recommendations for what a person or a business should do in a different scenarios. So throughout the course, we use a range of internal assessment as well. So obviously we're doing lots of questioning and discussion in class. We then have regular key terms tests at the end of each small topic. So one unit of work might comprise 7 or 8 different topics, and we will issue the key terms and the definitions to the students. They have to learn them as part of their home learning, and then we will have a test roughly once every couple of weeks. We set home learning via Google Classroom. This is normally learning key terms or completing a short case study with some questions. And then at the end of each of the 6 big units of work, there will be a more formal end of topic assessment, and those will be constructed from real past exam questions. So students get a very realistic experience of what those final exams are going to look like and how to approach each kind of question, how to structure their answers, and how to earn the marks that are available. So we use a range of different resources in business. We have a set of class textbooks that we use in school. All students have been issued with a glossary of key terms for the whole course. And they're also issued with a command word glossary. So these are the instructions that appear in questions such as state, explain, describe, analyse, evaluate, so that they understand what those words mean and they can refer to these whenever they need to try to decide how to respond to a question. We will give out topic summaries prior to those end of topic assessments, and that normally consists of knowledge organisers. And then we've got a range of online resources that we use. So this could be signposting students to a particular topic on Seneca to help them with their revision, or maybe watching a video or reading a case study on BBC Bitesize, for example. So how to do well in business. There's a lot of maths and there's a lot of writing in business. So working hard in your maths lessons and being prepared to write and complete your class notes and really fully engage in all the activities and lessons, those are the ways to really do well. Having an interest in the wider world, engaging with current affairs, reading the news is going to help deepen students' understanding of the course content. Making sure home learning is completed goes without saying. Revising thoroughly for those end of topic assessments, making use of the resources you've been given. Review your learning after each lesson. Use the resources that are given to you on Google Classroom to make sure you've really embedded that knowledge, and then revisiting it at regular intervals. And of course, use your teacher and your classmates as a resource, because we're all there to try and do well together.